talk about the footwork, the feet positions in the Wu style empty hand form. There are 6 feet positions and all are covered within the first 5 movements of the short form or the long form. The easiest and perhaps best to practice to begin with is the parallel stance. In the parallel stance, the feet are parallel and shoulder width apart. Now you will see a lot of people potentially with their feet a little bit too wide. So you may see people slightly larger than shoulder width. What we're trying to achieve, I used to be taught it was 1 foot length apart, but recently I've realised that the key issue is we want the legs to be parallel, so the legs are hanging from the hip sockets. This way, when we bend the knees are going forward and going over the toes. If the feet are a little bit too wide, then if the feet are still parallel and you bend your knees, you have to either struggle to keep them over the toes or they start moving outwards and you really need the toes to point outwards and therefore no longer parallel. So try to check the legs are parallel, the feet are parallel, the toes are pointing straight ahead. The rest of the body can then just hang from the crown of the head. Tucking the pelvis slightly, so you're getting this stretch from the top of your head down the spine, down to your pelvis, and then your legs are hanging from the pelvis and the feet are sitting equally weighted on the ground. So you want to try and consider the weight of your feet on the ground. The weight on the left foot is the same as the weight on the right foot. The weight on the heel of the foot is the same as the weight on the ball of the foot. And the weight from side to side of the foot is the same, but this is harder to judge because on the outside edge of your foot touches the ground. On the inside edge of your foot, you have an arch. So try and think about the weight of your feet, the weight of your body going down the centre of your foot. And the more you stand in a parallel stance, the more it feels like your feet are spreading out across the ground like pancakes. So this is the parallel stance. From the parallel stance, we shift our weight to the right hand side. Then we can place the left heel down lightly in front of us. You'll see on the ground in front of me I've drawn a foot in front of the placed foot. So we're trying to place the heel down about a foot length away. We're bending the right leg, the left leg is straight, and the left leg has no weight on it. So this is called the empty leg, and it's called the empty stance, or shubu. But the leg is still active, and to help you keep the leg active, pull the toes back from your left foot back towards your dantian or your belly button. So in this position we're trying to relax into the right foot, and we're still trying to keep that weight going down the centre of the right foot. Now we're going to turn to the right, and we pivot on the heel of the left foot all the way to the right if you can. So now your feet are making a right angle on the ground. Shift your weight to the left foot. So in this position, this is called the T-step or Dingsabu. So we're making a right angle with the feet. It's just, although sometimes people call it a step, but it's just a transient step. We don't stay in this for any length of time. So we're shifting the weight to the left foot, then turning on the ball of the right foot. And again, you'll see I've drawn a foot length in front, so I'm wanting to place my heel 1 foot length in front. So we're in Shubu, the empty stance again. And again, if I was to step into a parallel stance, we've got 1 foot length ahead for our Shubu. Again, trying to recognise that your weight is going down the centre of the left foot and activating the right leg by pulling the toes towards your dantian or the belly. Then your toes go down and you push your weight forward, so you're straightening the back leg and pushing into the front leg, bending the front knee, and we end up in the archery stance or the bow stance or gongbu. So here we've got a clear foot length difference between the feet, between the toes of the left foot and the heel of the right foot, and a foot width apart, so we're still shoulder width apart. So the knees naturally end up over the foot. Then we sit back into Shubu, so we straighten the front leg, bending the back leg, raising the front toes, pulling the toes back towards the belly. Now we're turning to the left. So we turn on the heel of the right foot, so the feet are in Dingsabu, a T-step, right angles to each other. Shift the weight to the right foot. Turn on the ball of the left foot till your foot is making a 45-degree angle, and then slide the foot back diagonally. And you're trying to get the toes to come back as far as the arch of the right foot. Then we can pivot on the left heel, turning the toes out to 45 degrees, shifting our weight so our weight is equal on both feet. This is called the horse stance. So with the left toes pointing straight ahead relative to where we started, the right toes, the left toes pointing out to 45 degrees relative to where we started. The body sits between the two, so 22.5 degrees. Then shifting the weight further to the left, pivoting on your left heel, so your feet are now parallel again. Your left toes are pointing straight ahead compared to the starting position. Your weight's all on the left foot, centred down the centre of the foot. We can now make a circle with the right foot. Going forward into an empty stance again, Shubu. So we're a foot length in front and a foot length to the side. Shift our weight forward, bending the front knee, straightening the back knee. Forward into Gongbu. And then step to finish in a parallel stance. In the form, obviously, we carry on to do other moves. As an exercise in its own right, you will see that you're a good foot length in front of our starting position. So a good foot and a half maybe in front. Hopefully you'll find this a useful exercise to get used to the feet position of the Wu style and to get used to the names of the Wu style footsteps. Thanks for viewing.